Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Chris Allen with your weather podcast for this March 27th. A little bit early this morning with the podcast. Current time is 4:23 a.m. Make it 4:24. Just changed on this Tuesday morning. Central time, 4:24 a.m. Some things will be changing. I'll tell you that. Those of you that are loyal podcast listeners, you know how much I appreciate you. I tell you things first before anybody else knows. So I've got a couple of things I want to throw at you. Not physically throw at you. Just some ideas, okay? Since you guys are very loyal, I don't want to mess things up. But I'm going to have to start shifting a couple of things around. As far as, when I do things, the workflow, when certain things are recorded and sent out, I do this, I do a Facebook Live, I send out stuff to radio, then, of course, the show, and then we're going to be doing some things differently in the coming weeks that is going to, it's just going to make me have to change my workflow. And I get into a routine, and it's hard to break it. But what I need to know from you guys who listen to the podcast, when is a good time for the podcast? I mean, because I'm throwing out a lot of stuff, Facebook Live, radio, TV. I'm trying to hit all the platforms as early as possible, but sometimes it really is a strain to get it all done. And as we're now making changes, let me just tell you, we're making changes in the show. We're going to add more time to the show starting at the end of April. Yeah, we're actually going to come on earlier. We're going to start coming on at 5 a.m. instead of 5:30 on AM Kentucky. That's going to happen April 30th. And because of that, then I'll have to, shift everything 30 minutes earlier. But in order to make it work, I really need to think about when is the right time to do this podcast and when is the right time to do Facebook Live. And, I get a lot of analytics. I get a lot of numbers that come back. And that's what we use just based on usage and when people are active on social media. Early in the morning, it's really hard to find, an active audience, but you're out there, especially you podcasters and people that are getting on Facebook Live early. So I've got to figure by the numbers, how things are going to work best, and I don't want to do anything that's going to upset your routine either. So I guess I need to know from you guys, would it be terrible if I did the podcast later in the day, like, I don't know, 10:30 in the morning before midday? Or is that too late? Or should I do something the night before? Should I do something, this time of the morning, like 4:30 a.m., which is, when I'm going to have to start doing my Facebook Live a little bit earlier. So say 4:30. I feel like I'm doubling up on stuff here because, there's a podcast and there's a Facebook, and basically I'm telling the same thing in two different platforms, but one has video and audio. So that would be Facebook Live, and it gains a lot of traction, whereas the podcast, I've got some loyal, you're loyal to it, and the numbers are okay, but it's not like it's a big growth area. And I guess it's because, as I've explained here a lot of times, there's a lot of people that just don't understand what a podcast is. You guys get it, but there's very few others that do. And this business is all about growth. If we're not growing, if we're not bringing in, something that's going to bring up the numbers, then it, and it's not working, then it's either you get rid of it or you find a way to change it or make it where it does work or put it in a better time slot where it does work. So I just need you guys who are listening today to give me some feedback of what you prefer. Now, of course, with a podcast, you can download it anytime and listen to it anytime on your device, whatever that may be, or you can listen to it live. It's not really, when you listen to it live, that's a bonus. Podcasts are really something you go back and listen to whenever you take a run, or you're going to work, or you're at work, or whatever. So I'm just trying to figure on a different time of the day to effectively do this podcast, or consider doing something else with it. So give me some feedback. Send me a comment, and you can do that in Spreaker.com. You can go to my profile page. You can go to my, you can certainly comment on any of these podcasts as they come out. Spreaker.com gives you an opportunity to give some feedback. So I'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, let's get the podcast going here. 61 was the official high temperature yesterday in Bowling Green. That happened around 2:40 in the afternoon, 2 degrees shy of the average of 63. 45 was our low, 40 the average. That's a 5-degree surplus, or 5 degrees warmer than the average. 1 year ago, we had a high of 73 and a low of 54. Back in 2017, we did pick up 0.05 of an inch of rain yesterday with some of those stray showers that popped by. So we're at 2.52, or a little bit over 2.5 inches for the month. Still have a deficit of 1 inch and 0.13. Not bad. By the way, tree pollen is extremely high today, as it has been for the last several days, at a 10.7. And that's why I'm sneezing and carrying on. But today, we're going to get a little bit of a break in that we're only going to see a few stray showers. The rain chance only 20%. Otherwise, it's going to be breezy and warm with a high of 70 today. South winds at 14 to 35, 20% chance of a stray shower. Tonight, though, that rain chance goes up to 90% with a low of 59 and a continued 90% chance of rain likely on Wednesday. Some of the rainfall heavy at times over the next few days as system after system moves through and stalls out. We are going to see continual chances of rain, some of the rain heavy. We could be looking at some minor flooding issues across the area, which is a concern. 68 will be the high on Wednesday as the first front comes in and stalls. Thursday, continued 90% chance of showers and even some thunderstorms with a high of 67. By Good Friday, things quiet down a bit. We get rid of that first wave, and then the second front will come in late Friday into early Saturday, stall out. 63 for Good Friday, a 30% chance of a shower, but not until late in the day. And then Saturday, continued 80% chance of showers, 65. Easter Sunday, we have had to add back in at least a 50% chance of a shower, 63. Monday, a 40% chance of showers, and 62 as a third system comes in and stalls out. It's going to be a continual pattern of unsettled weather through the rest of the work week into the Easter holiday weekend. I hate to tell you that, but that's the way it looks right now. Not to say that Easter Sunday is going to be a washout, but it is going to be at least a chance of rain on Sunday. Otherwise, as you know, I had colonoscopy done on yesterday morning, early. Everything went fine. Only had one polyp, and that was taken care of. That's my second colonoscopy. I had the first one done at 50, second one done at 55, and he said come back in 5 years when I'm 60. So thank you for your thoughts and prayers. Everything, the jokes, man, the puns and the jokes, everything came out fine. Yes, everybody's like, I hope it comes out okay. somebody made a really good joke. It was like all endoscopic doctors are from the planet Uranus. That's funny. I didn't want to be the butt of jokes, but, there you go. It is what it is. But I'm thankful and blessed that everything did come out okay, and I recommend any of you who are 50 plus to have it done. It's not that big of a deal. The worst part of it is prep day when you can't eat what you want and you have to drink a lot of clear fluids. And yeah, that's a little, you can get into some TMI there, a little too much information, but you get my drift. You sit pretty close to the throne all day. But then when you're actually about to have the procedure done, it is a beautiful sleep. It is a beautiful nap that you get to take. You feel refreshed afterwards, and you're like, okay, you're done. And it's like, wow, that was quick. And you go home, and you get to eat a big meal and start all over again. But, yeah, you need to have it done. I mean, colon cancer is one of the rampant cancers that can be prevented if caught early. So if you're 50 plus, I highly recommend it. In the meantime, know the weather before it knows you. Have a great day. I'll see you live at 5:30 on AM Kentucky, 11 a.m. on midday. Streaming live to the WBKO app and WBKO.com. Later today, I will be back on the radio show, but it will be an abbreviated one because, well, the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers play Utah this evening in the NIT Final Four. And live coverage, you can hear it on SAM 100.7 starting at 5:30. Tip-off at 6 from Madison Square Garden in the Big Apple. Big Red in the Big Apple. In the meantime, have a great day. Thanks for listening, and God bless.